Welcome to Live 2 of Heart of Gold, Become the Perfect Partner with Herbal Wax Tarot. Today we're going to use tarot and some other tools to help us work on ourselves to attract the perfect partner. Yesterday we focused on authentic self-love and how to start paying attention to ourselves and our spirit and our thoughts, and what we need to start opening up and making room and letting go of things to push forward. For today's lesson, which is self-awareness, we're going to start by understanding who we are, what our strengths, weaknesses, values, and passions are. We're going to get into a couple of tarot cards as well, their explanations, and how they associate with our self-awareness, along with a couple of other things. I pulled out a couple of stones for us, but right now I asked the spirit what our collective energy is, and we got the Magician and the Lovers. So it looks like we're ready to make some changes, and a lot of us have done the work already to be caught up. I feel like even if you missed yesterday's video, which is posted on my profile, the entire thing, you can catch up if you'd like to there. But I feel like if you missed it anyway, Spirit has caught you up somehow during the day or during the week, and you're right on time. But we have this energy, this power behind us of manifestation when it comes to bringing our inner love life together, you know, to be in love with ourselves, which is pretty awesome, because I see like the duality of who one person is being shifted into the Magician, going from being a split, indecisive, back and forth, someone who struggles with committing, someone who struggles with speaking their truth, because then they have to actually be accountable and responsible for what they say. And then when you make that transformation in that self-awareness and authentic self-love within yourself, you shift from that split. Your male and female then becomes one as well. You know, through the Fool's journey, you go back to the Magician energy. And so today we're going to use our that Magician energy, that manifestation power, and these numbers together equal 7, so that is magic. It's actually inspired action, rather. So we're inspired today, definitely, as an overall collective. That's the energy. Let's get started, though. We're going to start with our strengths. And when I pulled the card for that, for our strengths collectively, the Ace of Wands came up. So I feel like we're really good at starting over. We're really strong at taking the experiences that we had at previous jobs with previous family members and things like that. I feel like we take those experiences and we use them to push forward every time. We're not new to the game. I feel like we have a maturity about us and a new way of thinking every time. We're very open and positive. We don't belong to that negative sector, that lower vibration. We stay in the heart chakra and above. And I think as we move in between, there culminates this sort of brew spiritually and energetically for us that keeps us in this Ace of Wands energy and connected with spirit and source and our higher guides and ancestors and things that move in the unseen that help us to manifest our purpose and what it is we're here for, and the messages that we're to speak to each other to catalyze one another into awakening and to being healed. So because you are part of the collective, I feel like this is kind of a default, not for all of us, but for those that move in the front lines in power, those that have to travel a lot. See, a lot of us feel like, oh, why do things keep falling apart? Why do I keep, you know, having to move, etc.? And I grew up like that, and I never understood. It really bothered me. But now that I'm awakening and I'm more spiritual and mature, and I take time to meditate on what it is happening with me, I start seeing, oh, this is the reason why. That's the reason why. I'm able to use the experiences from before and the negative feelings that used to plague me every time I had to start over, and now I have this like real passionate, positive, I just see like a carousel horse, you know, the music's going and I'm just going like all happily, like it's just a good vibe. That's the energy we need in order, where's the card at? I put it back, but in order to stay in the Magician energy and to manifest, that's what we need, the connection with the Ace of Wands See, he does have his wand up. And so this is, I feel like, wow, thank you for the connection, Spirit. I feel like today, right now, in this moment, it's the understanding, the understanding, the overstanding that as we, the magician, hold our wand up, Spirit is also giving us the wand. It's like a connection, like that picture where the two hands touch and it's the hand of God. I feel like it's that moment for us, that that burst of inertia, that spiritual connection where all of a sudden you have the second wind, you have the solution, some wisdom just clicks. And so I want to move on to our weaknesses so that way we don't get in our own way and lose what's happening right now. I feel like Spirit's really blessing us. As I learn how to be the perfect partner, the overflow of it is going to be you learning as well. And so I feel like because of the way things are set up, it's not just for me. So we all get to benefit from the collective's needs. And so right now, we need to learn how to get out of our own way when it comes to our Ten of Cups energy. This is our weakness. Having an expectation of something that may be too high for reality. See, a lot of people live in different timelines and different realities because of their circumstances, and they're in the middle of manifesting the next, and the next, and we're on different levels but the same path. So if we all set our goal to this really high, unattainable, really dreamt up, imaginatory, impractical, hallucinogenic, delusional mark that we'll never meet. And I'm not being negative. What I'm being is realistic. As a spiritual person, sometimes we have to clean out our closet. You throw everything out, you see what you don't like, and then you reframe it, or you fix it, or you replace it. So that's what we're in the process of doing right now with our weaknesses. I don't see our families or our overflow of love or our foundations or the communities that we built. I don't see that energy in the wrong here. What I do see is the clout chaser, the people that live out of their means, the people that drive a Benz but then they're eating beans. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of energy I'm getting. Don't gamble all your money and then lose it and then try to live this life, is what the message is from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. The practicality of it is, the reality of it is, we need to do a financial self-evaluation. That's part of being self-aware of our finances, of our physical healing, our physical well-being, our mental well-being, our spiritual hygiene. The way we socialize, the way we communicate is most important, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and that's how ether uses us to connect to each other through the power of our words. So let me get back to topic. I feel like the weaknesses is just trying to attain things that you know you can't attain. So as in yesterday's lesson, we learned how to stop lying to ourselves and how to kind of do the shadow work and be like, yeah, okay, this isn't going to work out. Let me do the math again and see if I can figure it out. But if I can't, then I have to be realistic and maybe cut off a couple of luxuries, make a couple sacrifices here and there so that we can shift to the next level that allows us to then save to get to that next space. See, you're not far behind. You're not like this loser because you're not all caught up where everybody else is. You're on your own path in your own time and your own growth. That's what we need to realize. There's no time. There's spirit. There's energy. And it is. The now is what's existing. And so what we're doing is pulling from, we're acknowledging our lack. Thank you, Spirit. We're acknowledging our lack, and then we are manifesting back to the Magician card. We're manifesting that which we have lack of. In order to know what you have lack of, guess what? You have to take an account of yourself, of your finances, of your health, everything, your connection socially, and you have to do inventory, and you have to shift, and then the sacrifices and the reorganization, the reprioritization comes up. So that's where Spirit's leading us as far as our weaknesses. Our next point or energy, I would like to call it, that we want to hit on are our values. And we got the Four of Wands. It seems like we live in this fantasy, blessed cloud of bliss when we're at home. I know all of you understand what I'm saying. When you go off the door, you got to put on your cloaks, your armored vest. You know what I'm saying? You got to get protected and prayed up before you go out, so you keep this energy at home. But when you get home, you bask in the glory of infinite comfort is what I'm getting. That's how I feel when I'm home. That's what I've created, this peace, this area of solitude, and somewhere I can be grateful and emote and evoke the energy of love in my home and sustain it. Sometimes you go out with that energy and it becomes deflated because you're battling people's evil eye and etc. But at home, these are where our values come from, our everyday living, the family life, the happy social energy and interactions between family members, between your friends, phone calls, texts, messages that make you feel connected to the people that actually reach out to you a lot. And I know a lot of us are busy and we're doing things like that. That's not the point. But the point is, overall, you got your vibe, you got your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we get our values from. This is how we learn how to be empathetic. That's where we learn the lessons of self-awareness. Again, how empathetic are you with your family members? Boop. Check mark. Like, how empathetic are you really? I'm asking. You can comment, but how empathetic are you with your partners, with your neighbors, with your coworkers? But most importantly, how empathetic are you with yourself? I want you to be self-aware. How do you treat yourself? Because how you treat yourself, it reflects on how you treat others. They're the moon to your sun, and you're radiating the light that we're being blessed with, the wisdom that we're being blessed with, the freedom that we're being blessed with. It's radiating, and so you want people to reflect it, right? So it's our behavior first that sends out that energy to reattach to. I learned something through battling a spirit once. It was kind of scary, but I kept battling the spirit of anger because I went through kind of a traumatic experience, and anger wouldn't leave me. I felt it, like this icky feeling on me all the time. It was just steady. That's how I kind of knew it wasn't me. And then I did some prayer, like some legit, like deep prayer, and got it off me. I did the work, actually, you know, and forgave and let go and disconnected from the soul ties that were attached to it. So once I released it, the counselor that gave me some spiritual advice let me know, hey, when the next new moon comes, that cycle will be over forever. Like, stick it out a few days to the next full moon, because new moon rather, because if you close that cycle out, then you actually beat that spirit. So it then became a game about me not being angry for like 4 days. And it wasn't hard because of the spiritual principles that I'm learning and living by now, but it was a struggle. It was a challenge to see how this is what was scary, to see how the spirit was using other people to manifest anger at me, to see if I would react with anger so it could attach to me. And that was the game for the 4 days. I had to be so aware of my behavior, back to the point, self-awareness. I had to be in fine-tuned needle point accuracy with my dots and T's and P's and Q's, buddy. It was no joke. There was anger manifesting all around me, at the check cashing place, and just with my neighbors. It was weird, and I just kept my cool. I was learning and being strengthened in that moment, how to be a mature spiritual person. And it was like working out a muscle. It was hard, but I learned how to just chill and let spirit and my ancestors and protectors and guides handle it for me. And I just watched how things just fell into place as I kept my mouth shut finally. as I stopped reacting to people and stopped giving them power, that self-awareness gave me the strength and the power and the ore for my sailboat, my rowboat, to get me back on the right direction. And that's the point for today's lesson spiritually. Self-awareness gives us the control back. Yesterday, it was more about being authentic with ourselves and loving ourselves. So now that has made space through releasing those negative soul ties, now we move forward with being aware. And so our last point, rather, is going to be our passions. And we got the Two of Pentacles, but what I'm seeing is the infinity sign in green, the same sign that's above the Magician. And so with that, I feel like it's the Magician energy, and we're wielding it throughout our life. When things get hard and the sails get rough, when we're happy and dancing in joy, when we're moving in power, we have balance. Spirit has us. Trust your voice, trust your intuition, trust your experience, and trust your connection with ether and your fellow collective members, because we're able, I'm reminding all of us, we're able to get into meditation and call upon each other's strengths and powers and gifts in the time of need. We may not have that gift at that time, but if that moment requires it of us, we're able to reach out to someone who does, or we're able to connect with someone, or we're already connected with someone who has the gift. So we have that infinite connection, that etherical connection that allows us to draw that energy in that moment to conquer whatever's challenging us. See, we're not here to lose. The collective is not here to lose. Okay, I'm not all like Rocky Balboa, where we are the champions type of vibe. But what I'm saying is, when people put in the work, they deserve to win. You are the winner because you already put in the work. You already know you're going to hit the finish line because you did your homework. You're going to get your A+ because you did your homework. There's a confidence that comes with that. And so that self-awareness and that confidence together is what's going to prepare us and lead us for tomorrow's lesson. The bottom of the deck energy for this overall tarot pull collectively is the Three of Cups. We are coming together, like I said, etherically, through the collective, energetically. And I want to reaffirm what I just said. We're able to pull from each other's cup. That's what the Ace of Cups is about in our own personal walk. The strength, the energy, the flow. It overflows out of our heart after Spirit fills us up with the knowledge and the wisdom and the energy and the strength and the lessons and the messages to be shared. Then they overflow. But we learn first. You can't teach someone empathetically unless you've experienced it. And that's how you know proof is in the pudding with spiritual people. There may be fake people trying to get into position to, like a trickster spirit, to get you out of your path. But the truth is, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do the work, you can discern with their behavior, even their conversation within 2 seconds, how spiritual someone is and how they carry themselves, and if they feel like they're carrying a regal crown or not. If they carry themselves like they're wearing regal robes or not. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much the first segment, the first pull through our tarot lesson today for self-awareness. But what I have next for us, we're going to talk about the High Priestess and the Judgment card, because they are both of the cards that represent self-awareness. I don't want to look down, so I'm going to do this. With the High Priestess, I feel like in order to connect behind the veil, in order for these two pillars, the light and dark, to balance her magic and her energy, in order for her at the bottom to keep her foot under the moon's illusions, under the dark illusions that would trick her mind, and in order to keep her truth and wisdom in her lap, she has to do the work. She has to be self-aware. She has to love herself authentically. She has to be in that first spot of the Magician, just being open and believing and having the faith of the fool that what you believe, what you see, what you feel in the now is going to manifest. It's going to materialize. But she has that connection with Spirit, which is the missing link. A lot of people think, poof, I'm going to have $1 million. That's not how it works. there's some type of work, some type of requirement, some type of communication and connection with spirit that will be ongoing. It's like breadcrumbing you to the end result, to the manifestation. It doesn't happen like a microwave, bro. So with the high priestess, we need to maybe meditate in that energy, in that connection with source, in that remembering, in the calm, in the searching through our personal Akashic records, through the searching for a connection with source, for healing and power and strength. It would manifest that self-awareness and authentic self-love that the high priestess evokes, and she actually embodies it. That's the word I was looking for. The next point for judgment was confronting our fears and redemption. So it's like when those two things happen, I feel like it shifts you. Thank you, Spirit, for the connection, because I wasn't prepared for this. This is truly downloading. But I feel like we're learning how to be redeemed spiritually. And Spirit and God and Source themselves are enabling us to learn through the compassion and the forgiveness and the understanding of our position and where we're at. So with this redemption, we're able to confront our fears. When you're in judgment, judgment means your charges, your crimes, your illegal behavior is being presented to you, to your face, and you're being watched by people and held accountable for your behavior before a judge. And that judge decides whether or not I'm not going to say whether or not, let me rephrase that, how extreme your judgment and or release will be. So that part actually has to do with your behavior in this moment. If you show that in your heart, and Spirit sees in your heart that you're ready to change and do the work and actualize the lesson that you learned to get you to this spot through self-awareness and authentic self-love, it's scary. It's scary to change. It's scary to see a clean slate, because you don't want no one to mess it up again. It was hard to get where you're at. So I get it. It's that fear. It's the trust in Spirit. That's why you need that high priestess. Thank you, Spirit. That high priestess connection to give you the strength to have the faith and the connection and the communication, the ongoing communication, to guide you to this release, to this feeling of joy and healing. And then it becomes a feeling of thank you, God. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, protectors. Thank you, guides. Thank you, Spirit. Because what happened was I learned. I didn't fall and stay down, burdened, stuck in a cycle and give up. What you did was you pushed through. And sometimes pushing through means not knowing and going anyways. Being scared, feeling the fear, and pushing anyways. So the odd thing, now I understand why this card came out 3 times. It fell out. I didn't shuffle it out, and that's why I put it back in the deck, because it didn't like pop out. It just slipped, kind of peeked out a couple of times. But the 3rd time it actually fell on the table sideways. So I feel like we're in the, let me put it this way then. Yeah, there we go. I feel like we're in the process of ending something for good. Ending that negative love life cycle that we spoke on yesterday for good. So this is proof and confirmation for me that a lot of people that heard yesterday are doing the work. And when they see the video again, the full one, which I'm going to remind you guys, I'm going to keep posting the entire lives for all 12 of the series on my profile. So take a look, follow me, check it out. Anyways, I feel like those that were here yesterday have the responsibility of this energy today, and thank you, because it's confirming to me that you did the work, and it's confirming to me myself that I learned, because today we were both able to build on what we started yesterday, what our foundation was yesterday, which was authentic self-love. And right now with the self-awareness, I just want to do a collective general reading. I don't want to miss any points and leave you guys. I don't want to be like the blind leading the blind. So I want to see right now in real time with those of us that are watching what the general vibe is. And actually my question is, Spirit, what do we need to know to get our highest and greatest outcome for this lesson for self-awareness. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you joined in. Thank you for smashing the screen and the likes. We got Wheel of Fortune here. And the star. So, give me a second here. Wow. You're doing the work to present yourself. I'm being reminded of like a quinceañera in the Latino community. When a teenage girl starts becoming a woman, she's presented to the community and to the world as a woman. And then she begins to start growing old enough to make her own decisions about her life. And so I feel like this is the energy for us through the star card, through our actual work and growth. It's like we're in our quinceañera, and Spirit and God and Source, and actually the energy that we've actually sent out into the universe is coming back through the white stars and popping around us and giving us a platform in the realm of love. And so because we're doing the work and the layers are peeling off, we're starting to be presented as that young feminine energy that's learning how to receive from Spirit, that's both pouring into our emotional health and grounding at the same time. So that balance, that justice energy, that King of Swords energy, it gives us fairness for ourselves. We then begin spiritually to treat ourselves fairly and start presenting ourselves in a different way. Like I said, we start feeling the crown. We start seeing the regal clothing on us, the jewelry. You start seeing it spiritually, and you earn all that every time you go through another transition, another tower. When you think you're holding on for nothing, it's not for nothing. Sometimes our gifts and our rewards are spiritual. Not all the time do they manifest in the 3D. And you know what? That's even better, because that's the eternal gift. It's not the flesh that's going to wither away one day. It's not a gift here that we can only use here. It's an eternal gift. It's actually the proof of the bridge between, oh man, I'm getting deep revelation. Let me just calm down. I want to scream. Between space, which is actually water, infinite darkness, the slate before creation, before we speak light to a new situation and create, and what's actually now. It's the proof of the bridge between the 3D and the 5D. I want to scream. This makes so much sense to me. And I'm so glad that that's what's happening to us as a collective, because we're doing the work. The gratitude and the energy that I feel right now, the happiness and the joy and the proud feeling that I have for myself right now. Not in a prideful way, but in a grateful way. The way of, I never thought I would be like this. I never thought. I'm so grateful for the knowledge and the wisdom and the awakening and the changes that are happening in me. I can feel the sun energy inside of me, and I share that with you collectively through the etherical connection that we have. I ask that you guys would just receive it, how I feel that, oh man, it's like everything's new. We're gonna become more open and aware and pushing forward. Like I said, our angels, all four corners of the earth, Spirit, God, the negative forces in our life, everything is pushing us forward. The wind is finally behind you. In the collective, for those of you that this is resonating with, the wind finally stopped blowing in your face and pushing you back as you walked uphill. And you know what? Now it's shifted behind you and it's pushing you to the peak, to your crown chakra. Don't forget that today. Today's the day of breakthrough for not only me, but for all of us that are resonating. You know, take what resonates. Be honest with yourself. Open yourself up and see if that's what Spirit's really telling you. We're all intuitive. We all can speak to God, Source, Spirit. We're all connected. You have to have faith. Whatever your faith is, I'm not here to be religious. I'm here to resonate with people. I'm not here to speak bad over people's lives. I'm here to lift people up as I'm being lifted up. That's what I've always been taught since I began being a raver as a teenager, and all of my spiritual teachings and religious learnings as I was growing up. And this is who I've become, a nurturer, Queen of Pentacles energy. That experience, her experiences are as the King of Pentacles. They're identical. She's been through a lot. That's where her healing energy comes from. You can't heal a lot, I feel like, until you know and feel a lot of what the person's going through. That empathetic exchange of energy is what I feel like it's the telephone wire to the communication between spirits and the energetic transfer. You know, when our spiritual cash exchanges, you know, equally. Like, you can have heart chakra work, but thank you for giving me solar plexus back, because now I'm abundant, because you've allowed me to get the blessing through opening up, through receiving the healing from spirit, and I was used as a vessel. You were used as a vessel for me. It's an even exchange. The universe is fair, balanced. It's the common futuristic system. I'm gonna call it a system. It's a spiritual system that we've been locked in and taught as a kid. So for those of us that are awakening, this is part of it. Learning a new love life, learning a new way to love. There's this one thing yesterday I was experiencing I want to share with you guys. There's this one thing about anxiety. I started getting anxiety because of letting go. I started realizing some of the heartbreak that I had was connected to a lot of my anxiety. I didn't want to let go of that heartbreak because it was comfort. It reminded me of something familiar. And I'm scared of change a lot sometimes, I'll be real. So that anxiety hit, and I started getting on ChatGPT to see what I could do. But just recognize, regulate, and reframe exercise came out. Like, recognize the trigger or the threat. So I wanted to connect that because it's part of being self-aware, which is our lesson today. Recognizing our triggers and our threats and not letting them overwhelm or ruin our day. You can't let one thing ruin your lottery winnings. You've been putting in $1 at a time. You've been putting in a lot of dollars and your winnings coming. So when we get that recognition of trigger, that body response, that fleshly response of shallow breathing, that tense feeling, that stomach drop, that sweat, that migraine, when all that's happening, it's our spirit telling our body, hey, yo, like, this is not cool. Recognize that this is a trigger. What are we going to do about this? So a lot of people at that point panic. And that's where the downward spiral comes from. That's where the use for medication comes from. Counseling and therapy, which is a good thing. That's where that comes from, because you start spiraling and it becomes a downward spiral that you can't control. But the point I'm making today is for the collective, those of us that have spiritual strength and that are strong enough internally to exercise a shift in perspective, a shift in our position spiritually, because we know how to manifest and we can pull the energy from the eternal into the now. Then we can also do that with this exercise and breathe. And once we start focusing on our breath and meditation, it then recenters us, because we have that closed eye blank slate, and the truth is in the spirit and the eternal. So we start seeing in the spirit again. You start having those, I wouldn't call them hallucinations. I would call them sight between the veil. The veil becomes very thin, and you can see in the spirit what's happening around you and what you need to do. And that's where your breath comes from. The self-awareness, staying self-aware with your breath. Don't let the negative thoughts overwhelm you. Just keep swimming through the process. Keep your head above water and breathe. That's how I'm going to remember it. keeping my head above water and breathe. And then the last point was to reframe your thought, to reset, to redirect your course vocally. When you can't speak and you're paralyzed and you're scared, say, I speak my truth and it sets me free, until you can actually command what you're thinking. No, this isn't real. I'm safe. People love me. And in a relationship, these imaginations aren't real. They're not real until I have proof of them actually being physically real. So I don't have to react to them as though they're real, because they're not real right now, and I live in the now. When that bridge comes, we'll maturely and spiritually cross it. But right now, we're not going to shortcome ourselves and cut ourselves off from spirit and source, the energy that we need to push forward. Why would we disconnect ourselves for something that's really not happening? That's something that fear is projecting onto us. Fear is a spirit. For God did not give us a spirit of fear. See what I'm saying? So fear is actually a spirit. So we should address it as such. Spiritually cleanse. Speak life to your words and power to your magic. If you're religious or spiritual in a strong sense, I would suggest only doing this if you have experience with spirits, because you don't want it to manifest and ruin your life. So some of us actually have the anointing and the power to speak to it and send it back to where it belongs. So that's my recommendation for those, not for the general collective, but for those that resonates with. But back to the point, recognize, regulate, and reframe is also part of our self-awareness. Before I start doing general collective pulls, I'll start doing some readings from the comments as well. So get ready for that. But I want to let you know about lapis lazuli. First, it helps with blood pressure. That's awesome for me. So just meditating or even keeping it by your bed or somewhere near you in your car, it also enhances your intuition. So you're able to maneuver. It's like the oar that guides us through our day. It's stress and anxiety relief. So when you're aware, again, through the connection of what we learned today, when you're aware of that anxiety, this is something that can help you if you're spiritual. And this doesn't have power in it in itself. What it is a reminder of us spiritually that we have the power to speak our truth, and it sets us free. So we start speaking and creating our new hologram, and our new future and our new reality. We create it in the now. Everything's calm. I'm okay. I feel great. You know what I'm saying? That's where this comes from. It's a contact point. You already have that in you. This is just something to help ignite it. There's no power actually inside of it. The power is actually in the connection with you and ether. And this is the reminder of who you used to be, of who you really are. You see what I'm saying? It's part of the awakening. But the other stone I have for us is Amazonite. I'm gonna personally remember this one. It connects your astral body with your physical body. That's the connection of self-awareness. That's our next step, our next homework I want us to do through meditation. If you already have Amazonite, and you already know the practice and the uses for it, that's awesome. Connect with people in this group and let them know, whoever doesn't know. Follow each other, you guys. Group 7, real quick. Follow each other. Do that thing, help each other grow. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscriptions, the follows. And let me get back to the point with the Amazonite. It's going to keep us calm as well. With the green, it works on your heart chakra. With yesterday's lesson, it's a continuation of the cleansing of the filth left over, the residue from those old relationships. Getting back to the point of learning how to become the perfect partner. In order to be one with someone else, we have to become one with ourselves. And part of that is connecting the astral realm with the physical realm. And this is that connection, that contact point for us. But we already have that energetic connection. So tap in, remember, manifest, Let go. Trust your voice. Trust your spirit. I speak truth and it sets me free in meditation, and start seeing what spirit deposits in you to actually speak and create into your own existence. It's a guidance. That's the best way to have the highest outcome. Being led by Almighty, by the Creator, by the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You're not ever going to lose that way. So with Amazonite, that's my suggestion. Let me see if I missed anything really quick. I have a lot of notes. You can journal and be mindful. There's some questions that we can ask ourselves to help become self-aware. Like, who are you really? And then ask yourself, who am I really? You can do it in the mirror. Or, why are you here really? Why am I here really? That's for your purpose. You become self-aware of your purpose. And then, what are you holding on that you don't really need? You know, look at yourself in the mirror and ask that. And then ask yourself again, what am I holding on to that I don't really need? And then once, like I said, once you're meditating with the Amazonite, sorry guys, for example, I'm getting excited because the connection it's making a lot of sense. But once you do that, it all starts connecting with self-awareness, and you become self-aware in that area too. So if anyone has any questions regarding the topic, I'll do some tarot reads in the comments if you'd like. But right now we're going to get into some general collective readings, and then I'll end the lesson. Thank you for tuning in. You guys rock. You guys are helping me grow and helping me feel more confident with my live presence, and it's actually keeping me accountable and responsible, for the knowledge that I'm learning and retaining and transferring. I take tarot and speaking life into someone's life very seriously. I don't like to change people's trajectory if that's not Spirit's move. That's why I always ask for you guys to resonate. Make sure and confirm with Spirit that this message is all for you, because there's such an amount of people. I touch on a lot of different topics and a lot of different energies collectively. And I know you understand that, but this is a reminder. So go out and kill it. I'm going to do maybe just one collective reading. I'll make it beefy, and then we'll meet again tomorrow at 5:55. I love you guys. I feel the love and the energy. Thank you. All right, Spirit, what do you have for the collective? What can we leave them with to encourage them? Thank you, Spirit. All right. We have Queen of Wands, the World, the Eight of Swords. Oh, man, I'm going to save this one for last. We have Eight of Swords. We're walking away still from those negative thoughts, from those traps that other people have put on us. The more self-aware we become, the more release that manifests spiritually. All those words and I would call them word games and word traps that keep people in need of other people's energy and direction. It humbles you. It makes you like a 5-year-old to someone else, and they're able to manipulate you. So you're walking out of all that energy in each and every relationship. This is also confirmation for those of you yesterday that did the work, the release with the soul tie energy, confessing to Spirit the name of the person, and that you break the soul tie with them and call back all of your energy. This is confirmation for you and me that it worked. Our next card is the World. We're beginning that new cycle with yesterday's lesson and today's lesson. We're at a crossroads, and we're going to start moving fast with change. Things are going to start building us up. We're going to stop looking in the past and feeling sorry for ourselves. We're going to start treating ourselves like the royalty we are. That's that new cycle coming in. I'm excited for you. You're protected. Queen of Wands energy. I just feel like your energy right now in this vulnerable space is protected. You could trust that your ancestors, your angels, your guides, Spirit, God, they're all moving things around you to protect you while you're vulnerable. So you could trust the process. You can let go according to how far Spirit leads you. But also your magic is strengthening. Your inner strength, your inner gifts, your inner wisdom, your hermit energy is all glowing in the blue. It's calming you down. It's elevating the waters within you. that are connected to the moon and regulating your emotions so that you can stay calm and push through, stay aware. And remember that lesson about that spirit that kept trying to attach itself. It was outward. It was on everybody else. And it kept trying to get me to react with how it was acting so that it could attach to me. That's what the protection's about. I just wanted to remind you. That's what Spirit's telling me to reiterate. So, I'm going to leave you guys with this. You got the victory. You guys, people are watching us. People are changing with us. They may not chime in, but it's because of your collective energy that all of us together are being recognized. All of us have the collective energy of victory, and I want to leave that with you today and remind you of that sun energy feeling that was released during our live today. Thank you for being my motivation. Be well.